You ever driven a long haul at night? I'm talking about the kind of dark that swallows the headlights of your rig, the kind that makes you feel like you're the only one left on Earth. Truckers, they know that kind of dark. They also know that out there on the endless ribbon of highway, sometimes things happen that can't be explained, things that make the hair on the back of your neck stand up. These are their stories. Stories whispered from the driver's seat to the flickering neon glow of an all-night diner. Tales passed around at truck stops, warnings about stretches of highway where cell phones go dead and the shadows seem to have a life of their own. We're diving headfirst into the world of trucking's unexplained. 3 stories, real-life accounts from the men and women who haul our nation's freight. So buckle up, kill the dome light, and hold on to something, because these stories, well, they tend to stick with you. It was a desolate stretch of Highway 15 in Nevada, a place where the wind howled like a banshee and the stars seemed just a little bit too bright. Big Jim, a seasoned trucker with 1 million miles under his belt, was hauling a load of produce south when he saw her standing by the side of the road. A young woman dressed in white thumbing a ride. Now Big Jim, he knew better than to pick up hitchhikers, especially out here in the middle of nowhere. But something about her, maybe it was the desperation in her eyes, maybe it was the way the wind seemed to whip around her like a lost soul, made him pull over. He cracked the door of his cab. The girl climbed in, her face pale in the glow of the dashboard lights. She didn't speak, just gave a grateful nod and stared straight ahead. Big Jim tried to make small talk, where you headed, anything to break the silence. But the girl didn't answer, just kept her gaze fixed on the road ahead. Miles ticked by, the silence in the cab growing heavier with each passing mile. Big Jim glanced over at the girl, and that's when he noticed it. Her reflection, it wasn't there in the side window. He blinked, rubbed his eyes, but the reflection stayed gone. A shiver ran down his spine. He turned to look at the girl again, but the seat beside him was empty. No open door, no sound of footsteps fading into the night, just empty. The girl in white, gone. Big Jim slammed on the brakes, heart pounding like a drum solo. He searched the side of the road, but there was nothing but dust and the faint scent of lilac hanging in the air. To this day, Big Jim swears he picked up that hitchhiker, swears he felt the chill of her presence in the cab. He's not the only one either. Turns out that stretch of Highway 15 has a reputation. Locals call her the Vanishing Lady, a harbinger of bad luck. Or maybe just a reminder that some things, well, they can't be explained. They say every trucker has a story about a haunted rest stop, a place where the coffee's always cold and the shadows hold more than just darkness. This story comes from a place called Dead Man's Curve, rest stop off Route 66. It's been closed for years, fenced off, abandoned, but that doesn't keep some truckers from stopping. Maybe it's the lure of a quiet place to park for the night. Maybe it's something else. A young trucker named Sarah found herself pulling into Dead Man's Curve late one night. She was behind schedule, exhausted, and the promise of a few hours of uninterrupted sleep was too tempting to resist. The air hung heavy as she pulled her rig to a stop under the flickering sodium lamp. The silence was broken only by the creaking of rusted swings on a long-forgotten playground. Sarah settled into her bunk, but sleep wouldn't come. A feeling of unease, like she was being watched, settled over her. Then the whispers started, faint at first, just outside the range of her understanding, but as the night wore on, they grew louder, voices murmuring her name, beckoning her from the darkness. She tried to ignore them, tried to convince herself it was just the wind whistling through the broken windows of the rest stop building. But then she saw them, figures moving in the shadows, their forms shifting and swirling like smoke in the moonlight. They reached out to her, their eyes burning with a cold, ghostly light. Sarah scrambled out of her bunk, heart pounding in her chest. She jumped into her rig, started the engine, and didn't look back until she was miles away. The image of those ghostly figures burned into her memory. They say Dead Man's Curve rest stop is haunted by the ghosts of travelers who met their end on that treacherous stretch of road. Whatever the truth, one thing's for sure, Sarah's not the first trucker to encounter something unexplainable there, and she certainly won't be the last. Chapter 3. The Vanishing Convoy. This story, it's more of a legend, whispered in hushed tones around campfires and CB radios. The tale of the Vanishing Convoy, a phantom fleet that haunts the lonely stretches of I-80 in Wyoming. It's a story that's been told and retold for years, each telling adding another layer of mystery. Imagine this. A line of 18-wheelers all lit up like Christmas trees barreling down the highway in perfect formation. Now imagine those lights, one by one, winking out of existence. Vanished. No tire tracks, no wreckage, no explanation. Some say it's a time warp, a glitch in the matrix, a portal to another dimension. Others believe it's the work of something sinister, something that doesn't want to be seen. Whatever the explanation, the stories persist. One account tells of a trucker who swore he saw the vanishing convoy up close. He described the rigs in detail, even the company logos on the trailers. He followed them for miles, their lights like beacons in the night. Then, just as suddenly as they appeared, they were gone, vanished into thin air. He slammed on his brakes, expecting to find a pileup, but there was nothing there. The road was empty, the only sound the wind whistling through the sagebrush. The legend of the vanishing convoy is a chilling reminder that out there in the vast emptiness of the open road, some mysteries are never meant to be solved. 3 stories, 3 chilling glimpses into the world of trucking's unexplained. The phantom hitchhiker, a reminder that not every passenger is looking for a ride. The haunted rest stop, a place where the past refuses to stay buried. And the vanishing convoy, a phantom fleet that continues to haunt the highways, a testament to the enduring power of a good ghost story. Out there on the open road, sometimes the line between reality and the unknown blurs. So the next time you find yourself behind the wheel, late at night, and you think you see something out of the corner of your eye, remember these stories. Have you ever experienced something unexplainable on the road? Let me know in the comments below.